Welcome to episode 11 of Clicking Balls.
Yep, that'll do.
Yeah, I actually looked it up before we came.
Okay.
I thought we'd better look at the numbers. Thought we'd do something different today, and we'll head to the movies. During the week, it came up that we're thinking about movies with sport in it. So I thought what we'll do is we'll have a look at what are the best and what are the worst movies in sport.
And also, growing up, one of our first jobs was working at Video Easy. So
yeah, that's right. We both worked at Video Easy.
We spent our fair share of time watching free movies.
Actually, it ruined hiring movies for me because I couldn't go back to the video store after that.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
After you've had free movies for 12 years or whatever, you can't go pay for it. And I think that's the reason why Video Easy closed down.
Yeah, and the thing is, with the sports movies, a lot of them are PG or M15, so you can play them in store.
You can play them in store, yeah. All right, so we thought we'd go through a top 5 each, and then the ones that just missed out, and then the shit ones at the end of it.
Yeah.
So feel free to email us after us and tell us why we got it wrong. All right, you put yours in order?
No,
just
mine
the top
top five. I thought, obviously, being a videologist, be a bit anal about why things are ranked. It's like what's that movie with John Cusack where he does top 5 everything?
High Fidelity.
Like shit movie, but the principle of top 5 was really good.
And it had Jack Black in it.
And it did. And he was one of the saviors of that movie.
Yeah, one of the first times, one of the most speaking roles he got. All right, well, let's start with your first one then.
All right, my first one. Now, this one was just my favourite one as a kid. I haven't watched it in a good 20 years, but fuck it, it's on there. It's Rad.
Rad?
Is
that the skateboarding one?
No, the push bike one. Like, remember that the Wall of Death? And the dude worked in like a little shop, and he was like the underdog, and the antagonist was a big bully.
Right? No, I don't remember that at all.
I remember watching it all the time when I was a kid. Then I'd get the BMX out, and that's when we got the front number plates for the BMX.
Yep.
I put whatever number was on the movie for it.
See, now this is where it gets confusing in my mind because Noni Hazelhurst had a song called Rad. Radical Wheels.
Noni Hazelhurst?
Noni Hazelhurst,
oh, shit.
Well, she was on
Red Homes and Gardens?
Play School.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and so this was the the teenage or pre-teens actually.
Oh yeah, because I suppose Play School then would have been like the Disney for kids now.
Yeah, pretty much.
So she was like a 50-odd years. Younger Miley Cyrus.
Well, all I think just about every presenter tried to release an album of some description.
I'm sure Big Ted copped a few.
And so it was played. On afternoons on the ABC, Radical Wheels.
Okay.
If it's got wheels, then it's rad.
Sounds like Wheels on the Bus, like just souped up for a
it's like we'll try and keep him in. So that might have been the reason why she released a song called Radical Wheels as for the movie Rad.
Could be too. Yeah,
so I remember there was BMX Bandits around that same time.
Yeah, there was too, but I think that was just a little bit before me.
Was it?
Yeah.
So I think Rad, Nicole Kidman in it.
Yeah. I forgot about that one to be honest, but Rad was the one that I always used to go back to the video store for. Me and my mates used to watch it and then burn around the little 16-inch bikes.
Down at John Sand Video.
Yep, that's it.
All right. Rad. God, I have to look that up.
Yep.
The first one I've got on my list, Rocky 3.
Rocky 3, yep.
Rocky 3, which is Thunder Lips and Clubber Lang.
Yep.
Now, I'm thinking that Rocky might mention a few times, but I've only put one Rocky in there, and it's hard to pick just the one.
It is, yeah.
But one, I think, is just, it's almost too cliche.
Yep.
And if you actually do watch it now, 79 it came out, and it won an Oscar for Best Screenplay or something like that.
Yeah.
It is a little bit slow.
Yeah.
Something they fixed up in the next 12 that they did, or whatever it was.
And the thing is, I've had my list set out for a while now, and 5 minutes ago I made an audible and swapped Rocky in there.
Did you? You put Rocky
5 minutes ago.
I also like 3 is when Mickey dies as well.
Ah, it is too.
So it's the big emotional one there, and where Rocky's starting to succumb to the fame and the fortune, and he's going easy on. And that's when Apollo Creed joins his camp.
Yeah.
Rocky 3 I picked.
Which one do you reckon would be the worst Rocky? Like the last one?
It's 5 or 6. Rocky Balboa is 6, isn't it? And I think they're doing a 7.
I think they might have already done. Oh no, hang on. What was the last one they did when Rocky that
Balboa.
computer animation?
Yeah, when he came back, I think it's called Rocky Balboa, but it's 6.
Okay,
Rocky 6, and there's going to be a Rocky 7, which is his son or
fair enough.
Or, no, him training Apollo Creed's son or something.
Yeah, that would get another 6 out of that, I'm sure.
Yeah. I've just thought of one that's missed out.
As long as I don't have Jaden Smith playing the lead character.
I was just thinking that, which led to my next one. All right, that's what's your next one? Yo, Rocky.
My next one, yeah, Rocky.
Let's go to Rocky.
Yep.
So, I mean, the first one, it's the classic.
That's it. And I was deciding which one to put in there. And to be honest, Rocky wasn't my first pick. But then I was just thinking back about when that came out. And
Before you were born.
Before I was born, yeah. And like sort of, I mean, I heard about when I was born. So,
Yeah, everyone's heard of Rocky.
yeah. So I just found it hard to go past a classic. It's like what's that movie where they had the conversation about The Godfather? Where actually, I think it might have been High Fidelity as well, where they say
Right.
Godfather 2, in all likelihood, could be better than Godfather 1, but Godfather 1 is the one. Yeah.
I don't know. It could have been even in Sopranos. They talked about the Godfather
Yeah,
movies
true.
so often.
True.
Yeah, well, see, I picked 3 because I liked. I thought Mr. T and
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan
Yeah.
was really interesting, and plus Apollo coming over.
Yeah.
One, when you watch it again after you've seen the whole series 100 times,
Yeah.
it was a little bit slow in parts.
Yeah.
And 2 was sort of one's a hit. We better make him win this time.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, it's kind of the same movie just with a different ending.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, they're all good.
Yeah.
Maybe not 5 and 6.
Yeah, it was all just, I think, we'll wait another 10 years to see how long the 5 or 6 are going to last up. Well, 6 definitely not. But.
Yeah, everyone's forgotten 6, I think. And 5 is just Tommy Gunn, really,
Yeah.
fighting in the streets. But 4 is still good.
Yep.
All right, my next one. So I've gone left field.
Yep.
I've gone left field early, and I've gone left field often.
Right.
A Knight's Tale.
A Knight's Tale. Wow. Jesus, that's going back to some sport.
I'm counting jousting as a sport.
Do you know what? That is the most watched movie in store that I played, I reckon.
Really? A Knight's Tale?
Knight's Tale. Just over and over again because I knew that there'd be no complaints. People would, be happy to watch it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you like to get people to stay in your store and spend some money on whatever the fuck they're doing. Or...
I used to always play the Saturday Night Live tapes, especially the 25-year anniversary, and it used to get taken every single time.
Yeah.
But a Knight's Tale had no right to be as good as it was.
Yeah.
You've got Heath Ledger, who was seen as the teeny actor.
Because that was just not long after 10 Things I Had About You, wasn't it?
I think it was like his next main one after that.
Yeah.
And, that's a silly movie, 10 Things I Had About You, but he's good in it.
Yeah, he was really good.
And it's because of that and A Knight's Tale, like 10 Things I Hate About You and A Knight's Tale, where I went, and when he got named as a Joker, I'm happy to say I was one of the people that went, nah, he'll kill it.
Yeah.
He's going to be the best Joker there is. And, of course, he was.
Yeah. And, I mean, he did kill it in 2 hands.
That's the other advantage we got being Australian, is we've seen 2 hands.
Yeah, that was like our lead up to know who he was.
We know he's not just the, some bum off home and away.
Yeah, yeah.
That he actually had something. Yeah, so A Knight's Tale. And the other big thing for A Knight's Tale was Paul Bettany.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
Was he playing, I was going to say, not Charlotte, what's his bloody name? I've forgotten the poet. The one that came before Shakespeare. Chaucer.
Oh, yeah.
He was playing Geoffrey Chaucer.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And it was hilarious. But yeah, the support cast with Alan Tudyk as well.
Yeah.
And the other actor who I've forgotten who played the King Baratheon in Game of Thrones.
I can't remember those people's names.
Who was the seamstress in A Knight's Tale.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's a genuinely funny movie.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of little moments where they're self-aware that they're being silly and they're chasing this dream.
Yeah.
And then it's got the big the Rocky finish where he comes up and wins.
Yeah, it's like it's your standard sort of ebb and flow of a storyline, but they make it better just with the short little comedy bits.
Yeah,
they're stuck in there.
They stuck in the modern music as well, which there's a few little nods to modern, like I think she puts the Nike marks on the the armor, the female armorer, which is good. It was something different. It didn't really need it, but it was extra there. But I just think the support cast really helped it along.
Yeah.
So anyway, that makes my top 5 sports movies.
All right.
So
next up, I'm going with Days of Thunder.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting choice.
Just because I remember around that time when I actually first watched Days of Thunder, it was on like late night TV or something.
Yeah.
And that's when I was into building little model cars, like the ones that you glue and have to soak the decals in water. And so the next thing I did was went out and bought like a little stock car model and had the
Mellow Yellow.
No, it wasn't Mellow Yellow. It was some other red one, but I actually had the yellow Mellow Matchbox car.
Yep.
That'd fang around a track. And yeah, so that was just one where I watched it. And the thing is, don't really like Tom Cruise at all, but just that movie, just the racing side of it.
I don't care what anyone says. He's a good actor.
Yeah.
And any interview I've ever heard with him when he's talking about movies is unbelievable. And you've got to listen to him.
And also, I got to respect the fact that he does his own stunts.
Yeah.
Right, especially the one where on the was Mission Impossible, the latest one, where on the Burj Khalifa, the big fucking tower in Dubai, and he did his own stunts, like hanging out the window.
It's hardcore.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean, okay, so he's got some crazy ideas outside of. But when it comes to movies, like he's up there.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I don't think he has an Oscar either.
Doesn't he?
No, I don't think so. No. I think he got nominated for like Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
But never actually won one.
Yeah.
Days of Thunder. I haven't seen that in probably 20.
Me neither. But every time I do, it just makes me want to go out and fang the car.
Well, yeah, not much.
That explains all my speeding fines, I reckon.
All right, number 3 for me, and I reckon you might have this one in there as well, but it's certainly one we loved, Varsity Blues.
Yep, that wasn't in my top 5, but
it was in your honourable mentions?
It was in my honourables. It was in the original draft for the top 5. Then I started moving some stuff around and just didn't make the cut. But I really wanted to put it in there.
Yeah.
I really wanted to put it in there.
Well, I think I found a space for it just because of Billy Barb.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what made it. And the thing is, I remember when that movie first came out, it was actually on a footy trip for Vic Country Schoolboys.
Yep.
And I think we came to Melbourne. And so we're like, all right, we'll go watch a movie, as a team with all our team jackets on.
Yep.
And we're looking up there, Varsity Blues, movie about sports, sweet, we'll go watch that one. And it was like during the day, so it was empty. We walked into the cinema, right in the middle. There's no one except for 2 girls sitting right in the middle of the cinema.
So you surrounded them?
The whole way around, front, back, left, right, the whole lot. It would have been the worst movie they'd ever seen. We fucking loved it.
No, it is a great movie. I've heard a lot of people say that it captures, that small town America.
Yeah,
obsession with the local team.
Yeah.
Was that the same crew that then went and did Friday Night Lights?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
If they didn't, then they certainly decided to make it on the back of of Varsity Blues.
And also, Tweeter, is it Scott Caan?
Scott Caan,
Scott Caan, who plays that. He was pretty good in that,
yeah, he's brilliant.
She broke my jaw.
It's a way to break your legs.
Yeah, something like that.
She broke my heart, so I broke her legs.
Fucked that one up, didn't I?
But he's got everyone wants to see the new Twitter Enzo dance. You'll see the new Twitter Enzo dance? Yeah. James Van Der Beek does an all right job as Johnny Markston.
Yeah, and the good thing is, growing up, never got Dawson's Creek, so I had no preconceived idea about James Van Der Beek
being the teen soap actor.
Yeah.
So he did, and then you got Billy Bob. Bob.
And Billy Bob, of course, made it.
Yeah, he's. I love that dog.
Yeah.
I think it's a pig.
Yeah. You've got to ask him. Yes or no question. Billy Bob, a man's holding up some fingers. Yes or no?
Yes.
He's all right.
And of course the greatest Billy Bob quote when they're coming out of the strip club.
Yeah.
And see the teacher up there. I give it a 10. A fucking 10.
I reckon I got a few miles out of that saying over probably 10 years. Yeah.
Fucking 10. I think I had it on VHS and we watched it about 800 times at uni, my first year of uni.
Yep. That's back when VHS was still relevant.
Yeah. I think it was MTV Studios even made that movie.
Yeah, it was, I remember because the
astronaut coming up the front. Yeah.
And the soundtrack was awesome for that time as well. You had the Foo Fighters on there. And
did it?
Yeah, it was really up to date. And it sort of set the scene for it. Really put it into that environment of high school kids,
I just also remembered it had Paul Walker in it.
Yeah, it did too.
Playing the quarterback that did his knee.
Yeah, and Ali Lata playing the love interest as well.
And Amy Smart.
Actually that's pretty big. And
I'll tell you what, they've all gone on.
Of course, what's his name?
John Voight.
John Voight, yeah.
Playing the coach.
Tell you what, it's a pretty big cast.
Big cast, isn't it? Yeah, they all went on.
Yeah, I reckon they probably got a good deal out of that.
Even Billy Bob popped up in a few more movies.
Yeah, he did. And the thing is, Billy Bob, I think he just competes for roles with the guy out of American History X and Blow, Tuna out of Blow. That big dude.
Out of
Mallrats as well.
Yep. My name is Earl.
Yep.
I can see his name.
Yeah, I reckon they just must compete for the same roles the whole way through Hollywood.
A lot. Although I think he's lost a lot of weight. The guy out of Randy out of My Name is Earl. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
All right, so Varsity Blues.
Yep. All right, yeah, that was
the first American football movie.
The next one I've got is He Got Game.
Okay.
I really liked that movie. A lot of people were a bit up and down about it, but I just thought Ray Allen did a really good job of acting.
Absolutely the best sportsman turned acting.
Yeah.
Although, all right, not a stretch.
Yeah.
Playing a high school...
pretty much playing him.
Basically playing
his
LeBron
life.
James, I guess.
Yeah. And also had Travis Best in there as well, who was playing for the Indiana Pacers at the time, I think.
Yeah.
He did a pretty good job. And, I just thought it was a good storyline.
And Denzel, of course.
Yeah, and Spike Lee, I think he just really did it really good.
If I remember correctly, the one-on-one game they play at the end, it was meant to be... the script had it to come down to the last shot or whatever, and Jesus Shuttleworth sings it. But they decided, oh no, let's make it real. How would you go against Denzel Washington versus Ray Allen? And of course, Ray Allen smoked it.
Yes, exactly.
As you'd expect.
Yeah.
So that was interesting how they let it go that way.
Yeah, and I liked it was more interesting than just a straight up sports movie. Like there are other aspects that they brought into it, which I really liked.
The relationship was the story, not the sport.
And it kind of reminded me of sort of if like a made up version of a 30 for 30 or something like that.
Yeah.
Whereas it's about sport, but it's not totally about that sport. It's got a lot more happening, and there are plenty of good one-liners in that as well. There's a lot of trash talking that you used on the basketball court.
It's going on.
Can't stop him. Can almost contain him.
No, the only thing that I stopped that movie from being great in my eyes was the ending.
Yep.
Yeah, the throwing the basketball, like the symbolism in it. Like, hang on,
that's it. You're not Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, but
it's not
it
2001.
The movie didn't need it.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Yeah.
Like, I get the touch and everything, but...
Yeah, like they could have just had him shooting around that basketball court with no ball coming out of the air. Yeah. And it would have been just about perfect.
Yeah, could have done. But, that's the way they go.
Yeah.
All right. I'm up to number 4 out of my 5 already.
Yep.
We're blasting through. So this one is my audible that I put in just before, because we had a little discussion and decided that this counts as a sport.
Yep.
Rounders.
Yep, fair enough.
I guess it's a sport or a game, but... I dare say there's not many movies that have affected the wider population as much as Rounders did.
Yeah.
For those that haven't seen it, Matt Damon and Ed Norton. So you're starting with a quality cast to begin with. It's about the underground poker scene.
And John Malkovich in there as well.
Yeah, Teddy KGB doing the worst accent ever.
Yep.
And what's his name? Totino?
John Turturro.
John Turturro,
yep.
Playing Grammar. No,
actually, the other thing,
what's his name?
He plays on Knish.
But
John Turturro is in He Got Game as well. He's like one of the coaches that Ray Allen goes to. Cannot dribble a basketball for shit.
That's right.
You could tell he's not a basketball guy. Trying to play a basketball coach, trying to do these fake outs. It's fucking hilarious.
That's right.
It's almost as bad as the fake baby in Sniper.
He's the one. He's trying to convince him to come. Yeah.
Like, we show love.
So Rounders. Some of the history of it was this came out about 96 or something like that.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Moneymaker.
Chris Moneymaker.
Yeah. Watched it and got into poker from that. And then a few years later, he qualified online and went and won the World Series of Poker and started the poker boom, which ran for a good 10 years. And all of a sudden, everyone played poker.
A couple of follow-up tournaments. Took him a while to get a follow-up win.
Yeah.
But I think he got one.
But like they said, every professional poker player, if they ever run across Chris Moneymaker, they should go shake his hand, because they're all richer because of him.
Or if they come across Johnny Chan, they're Johnny fucking Chan.
Johnny fucking Chan. So, I've had so many poker games where the game hasn't started until somebody's quoted Rounders.
Yeah, exactly. And I used to work in a casino, and so these movies are good until you actually work in a casino and you hear the same fucking thing every single day. And the worst was when that Blackjack movie came out, the Winner Winner Chicken Dinner.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, I'd always heard that saying around casinos, obviously. But until that movie came out, every motherfucker on a Friday night playing his $10 blackjack, winner, winner, chicken dinner. I'm like, dude, I'm going to fucking punch you in the face. It was so annoying.
But have you got any favourite Rounders quotes that just jumped to mind?
Oh, shit.
So we got the, you must be kicking yourself.
Yep. I bet it all.
It's a fucking joke anyway. So
they're pretty much all KGB.
Teddy KGB's got them all. And
Yeah.
the other one is, you know that feeling?
Yeah.
You got your knife and forks it up? Just have another steak.
Yep. And the thing is, it was really like, I don't know, especially being in the casino world, that is sort of what it's like. Like, that's how people get by.
Yeah.
Like, even though they might win $400,000 on the table, but they're broke tomorrow or the next day because you got to pay back your debts, or someone else got to slice the action, or
you owe somebody from last time, or somebody else has bought 50% up
and
front.
It doesn't matter how much you've got. You could be just felted by the next day.
Yeah.
And it's so common to hear.
Yeah, it's just it's like the old joke, the poker player sitting down saying, "Geez, I hope I break even today because I got to pay rent."
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's just that mentality is, well, of course I'm going to play.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's what I do. I play.
Yeah, and especially like I can imagine in New York and that where gambling is illegal. Like that's how you have to go and play poker back in the days where there wasn't online or anything like that. You'd have to be in the know, or you'd be out at country clubs and
know somebody who knows somebody who can get you in.
Yeah,
and then all every club has its own different rules, and
especially reading Doyle Brunson's and Amarillo Slim's autobiographies. It seems like that's the way it was back in the day.
Yeah.
Like you'd be traveling around with a couple of your mates and you just go hustle a few places, and it was actually like a road job. You'd have to travel from town to town. You couldn't just stay in one place.
It felt like that at some stages too. In because I was living in Sydney, early 2000s, trying to find home games.
Yeah,
because the casinos didn't offer poker.
Yeah,
online's that's great, but it's not the same.
All you have to do is ask a staff member in the poker room. There's a home game in the casinos. I remember when I was at Crown, there was a home game that ran for like a week or something. And that's how like people just finish their shifts, they'd lock up, people would leave, people would come. Yeah, that's how long it went on for.
But there was no poker room at Star City in Sydney at this stage. It came in later, and when it first came in, it was pathetic.
Yeah,
it was 4-hour waits and then ridiculous rakes.
Well, I remember when I went to Adelaide Casino and they were just bringing poker in. Like a couple months before that, they'd have like the South Australian Open Poker Championship or something like that.
And it got rated?
It got rated, yeah. It was advertised, and it was in like the Greek Community Centre or something like that.
It was advertised in Sydney. Yeah. We had people that I knew friends that booked tickets.
Yeah, it was not under the radar or trying to be shifty at all. But I'm pretty sure because Casino had their poker room open up soon, they went, hey, what's this shit? And it got rated. And the thing is, they're actually staff who've just been trained for poker dealers who got rated in that. And so they're like, oh, shit.
Where's my job going now? Yeah.
Or the casino was more worried, hang on, our staff are playing in there? Like, fuck, we just trained them to deal poker. They can't be banned from here. We've got no dealers.
I remember reading one of the funniest things about that movie was saying it seemed very believable. Sorry, we're going back to actually talking about Rounders now.
Yeah.
Of the underground New York poker scene. Now, obviously, it wasn't part of that, so I can't comment. But I thought the one thing that was not believable about it, the betting $30,000 and all those kind of underground card games. That's fine.
Yeah.
But the fact that he went to Vegas, bluffed out Johnny Chan, and didn't tell anybody,
not
believable at all.
Not going to happen at all. Yeah.
I would have been on the phone as soon as I stood up from the table. Even if mobile phones weren't invented then, I would have invented mobile phones.
It would have been straight on the 1+1, the poker website.
2+2.
2+2, yeah.
Straight on 2+2.
Open a thread.
Poker network.
Bullshit.
It would have shown the bluff. And how do you like them apples?
Yeah. Yep.
So that's Rounders. God knows how many times I've seen it, and I'll watch it again. There's always been talk of a sequel that's just never going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 20 years now.
And it's going to be hard to make a sequel that's going to live up to the impact of Rounders.
You can't.
No. And I mean, people have tried to make other poker movies, and they're pretty... We'll get onto that later.
Yes.
All right, up to mine. My fifth one. My last one to round up my top
last
five.
One. Your top five.
And this one's my left field one. This one's Stickmen.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. I forgot.
Yep.
I forgot Stickmen existed.
And this is one of the movies when I was working at a video store.
Again, this is back to the video store. This was famous throughout Australia at video stores.
And because the thing is, whenever you work in video stores, you get sick of the main release to come out. You see them all, and so it's more of a challenge to find like those sort of cult following movies.
It is almost hipsterish.
Yeah, it is. But that's just what working in a video store is like. You are like almost a video hipster.
You have a lot of downtime, and you've got 3,000, 4,000, 10,000 movies sitting in front of you.
And you have people talking to you about all sorts of esoteric movies all day.
Yep.
And so it's kind of like a good challenge to find ones that are unknown. And this one, I didn't see it ever at the cinema. No. There was just one copy on the bottom shelf.
Yep.
And that's it.
That bright orange case, I can still see it.
Yep.
So...
And I think it was you that told me to watch it. It was you or my boss or someone.
There was the preview tapes that came around.
Oh, that's what it was too.
Stickmen was on one of the preview tapes.
Right. It was on the B side of one of them.
Yeah. My boss said, you've got to watch this, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because he watched all the preview tapes because he reckons it was part of his job.
Yep.
And we watched it, and okay, for those that don't know, Stickmen is a Kiwi movie.
Yeah.
So I think that you probably only ever heard of 3 Kiwi movies, and 2 of them were Warriors.
Yeah.
It's, I guess, a New Zealand version of a Guy Ritchie film.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
that's
kind of
pretty
like
sum
that.
it up. Yeah.
So it's underground 8 Ball.
Yeah, it's about a underground illegal pool tournament.
So
Kind of got a mixture of rounders in there as well, actually.
Yeah, a little bit now that you think about it. With,
but it's fucking hilarious.
It is the funniest movie. You got 3 drunk blokes that like to play pool.
Yeah.
And they're betting their lives on this pool tournament and the local pub somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how that really came into it.
Yeah.
But it's...
The thing is, I almost don't want to give it away because I know people, if they
You've got to go watch
they're
it.
going to watch it. And they're like, wow, I never even knew this movie existed.
I forgot it existed when we were talking
Yeah.
the best sports movies.
Yeah.
8 Ball counts as a sport.
Yeah.
It's one of my favourite movies of all time. Not
Yeah.
one of my favourite sports movies. It's one of my favourite movies.
Yep, I'd agree.
God knows how many people I've told
Well,
about
yeah,
its existence.
once I saw that movie, I told everyone at the store
the
that I
video
knew
store.
would like it. Yeah, you got to watch this
That's
one.
right. When I at the video store, if you work the day shift, once a week, the local prison guard
Yep.
come in and they go, give us 20,
Yep.
and they put it on.
Yep.
And after a while, he came in and goes, all right, give us another 20 weeklies and not Stickmen. And you go, why not? He goes, we get it every single time. Because they wouldn't pick their own movies. They get us to pick it for them.
Yep.
So I thought,
Well,
fuck.
the worst thing is when the prison people would come in to get movies from the Video Easy store that I worked at, it was always 10 pornos and 10 normal movies.
Really?
And the worst thing was when they'd bring them back, we each had like a cloth and everything set up just to
Yeah.
wipe the fuckers down because there's this, ugh.
That's the worst thing about working in the video store was that I had no issue, hiring out the porn.
And
But
the shit porn anyway.
Yeah, when it comes back and it's VHS and it's only played like 20 minutes in, you're like,
Yeah.
that's the point right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Put it into the rewind machine. And,
Yeah, that's what I liked where I worked. I'd do the closes, so I'd end up closing by myself, but I had someone else working for like the first 4 or 5 or 6 hours. So that was just a delegation job.
you get to handle all the
I got
porn.
important other stuff I need to do now, and
We had one guy come in that were a little short of a quid,
yeah.
and he gave us his review of the porn.
Oh wow!
And it was like it was in depth.
Actually, we had a couple of them as well.
No pun intended.
We had literally the same situation. A couple of guys, a bit short, but there was
Yeah.
2 brothers. I won't mention their names, but everyone would know who they were.
Yep.
And one of them was a bit smarter than the other one. And he'd come in and then tell you about all these pornos he'd watched and the in and out details. And we're like, dude, really?
Yeah.
God damn it.
It was good that we could actually say, come on, guys, fuck off. Because we knew that they were going to come back anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
No, when the prison guards came in for us, we weren't allowed to give them G or PG and nothing too violent.
Yeah.
Because it roused them up. But I think Stickman was M or MA, and we gave it to them anyway.
But yours was in Western Sydney as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, getting out towards Western Sydney,
Yeah,
Parramatta
so
way.
it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stickman, you've got to go see it.
And it would just it'll make you want to get drunk and play pool.
Absolutely. All right, so my last one.
Yep.
And I'm glad you didn't say this one because we've been talking about it recently. It's one of my favourite movies of all time.
Right.
Basketball.
Basketball. Yes, I didn't think about that one.
So from the makers of South Park, inventing their own game, which I only just found out.
Yep.
One of the Zucker brothers who produced or directed Basketball also did Naked Gun and Police Squad and all them. He actually did this. He actually
Created the
invented basketball in his driveway.
Oh, really?
And the local paper came and did a story on it, like after the 3rd season
That's brilliant.
of playing it. So it's based on a true
No
story.
shit, I had no idea.
But just an awesome movie, and you
Yeah.
can see like I think they were a few seasons in of South Park at this stage,
Yeah.
so they didn't need it.
Yeah.
And
it could be one of their only movies that isn't like trying to be a musical.
let me think. Orgasmo?
Orgasmo, yeah.
I don't think there's any music in Orgasmo.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, all the others like Cannibal the musical,
Yeah.
and obviously Book of Mormon, which
Yep, is a musical.
Is a movie, but
Even the South Park movies was musicals.
Yeah,
'Cause I remember they were saying that when Brett watched an interview for Book of Mormon,
Yep.
and they were saying that they set out to make a movie, and for some reason it always ends up being a musical, and
Just the way it is.
they don't intend to, but so they're like, fuck it, we'll just write a musical.
well, jokes are always funny if you sing them.
Yeah, and especially like I've watched a cam version of Book of Mormon, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Yeah, I haven't heard anybody say a bad word about
Yeah.
it. And they reckon even the Mormons love it.
Yeah, well, it won whatever they win.
Tony's.
Tony's, yeah, what do you win for
7,
Broadway?
8,
Plenty, yeah.
50.
And it's funny, if you've seen the documentary about South Park called, was it 6 Days to Air? Or
Something like that, 7 days to
Seven
wear.
Days to Air. It's really funny. They show them going to the Oscars or something for whatever.
Talking about when they went to the Oscars, I think.
But they showed the clip where, because they said that in the limo they decided that they'd take some acid,
Yeah.
and they were cross-dressing as well.
One of them wore J-Lo's dress,
Yeah,
the green dress, and the other one wore something else.
and then they refused to even comment on it.
Acknowledge the dress, yeah.
And if you watch the clip, it's so funny. Look at them come out of the
The limo.
Just watch that documentary as well if you're a fan
Yeah.
of South Park's stuff. Watch Basketball. Basketball is hilarious.
It is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's so much that in the last month or so, I was trying to find the basketball uniforms to buy
Yeah.
online. To buy them through the licensed guys is about $130 odd American,
Jesus.
which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I was going to custom baseball jerseys to
Yeah.
try and get them made up. Not bad price.
I was going to say, let's be honest, they've probably already got the template there.
Probably. They might not have used it for 10 years, but
Yeah.
it can be done. I just need to get enough people to order
Well,
it.
maybe we'll put a memo out to the Chicken Balls people, see how many we can get together.
Who wants to get a basketball uniform?
And the thing is, when that movie came out, that was the first time I'd ever actually seen Trey Parker or Matt Stone.
Matt Stone, yeah.
And I remember seeing them go, wow, like,
That's-
those guys make South Park? Really?
So that was the first of their movies you saw. You hadn't seen
Yep.
Cannibal or Orgasmo.
No, that was the first one that I watched.
I think it might be the same for me as well.
Yeah.
And then you just saw how absolutely funny they were.
Yeah.
And it's got Zuckers all over it.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
there's a lot of the Naked Gun spoof.
Yeah.
About it.
And on that documentary about South Park, they show their creative process of making up their episodes and jokes.
Yeah.
And you imagine it'd be the same process for their movies.
Yeah.
Where they just sit in a room and just try and tell jokes or
Where we
read a
go.
newspaper.
Where we go.
Yeah.
It's just you got to convince somebody else to pay for it.
Yeah,
for the
that's
movies.
it.
It's a bit harder.
Yeah.
So just to go through my top 5 with Rocky 3, A Knight's Tale, Varsity Blues, Rounders, and Basketball.
Yeah. Mine were Rad, Days of Thunder, Rocky, He Got Game, and Stickman.
All right, so the ones that are unlucky.
Yeah.
All right, I've got I put Rocky.
Yeah.
And Rocky 2 and Rocky 4.
Yep.
I think 5 and 6 you can we'll pretend they didn't happen.
Yeah. For mine, I like Varsity Blues, like I said, that wasn't just a late withdrawal. The other one I had was Any Given Sunday.
Oh yeah,
I liked
Pacino.
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good movie. Maybe it's
okay.
a bit too long.
Yeah.
Could have been a lot shorter. But as far as
But it's good that it's a serious movie about professional sports.
Yeah.
There's not many that fit into that category.
yeah, and try and if you hear the stories about the NFL, it sounds like it's not too far off of
Yeah.
what goes on. And then that led me to remember the movie The Program.
Yeah, I've got the program down
Yeah.
as well. It's one of mine, unlucky to miss out.
Yeah.
Which is College.
Yeah. But it was a really interesting movie. And see, Any Given Sunday was another late withdrawal. That's the one that I swapped out for Rocky.
Yep.
But The Program was just too long ago
Yeah.
for me to remember how significant.
It was a good movie. I do recall once or twice drunken late nights laying down in the middle of the road.
Yep. Yeah, that's
and
right.
then thinking, you know what, this isn't actually that clever.
Yeah. Yep.
And standing up very quickly.
That, and yeah, wasn't taking steroids either, so.
No. Oh, that's right. And the poor old guy that can't read or write, but he's
Yeah.
going to buy his mother a house. Mac. His name was
that's
Mac.
right. Was too.
And then done his knee, career's over. So it's one of the. It's a bit like what was that movie set in the college? It wasn't. I think it might have even been a Spike Lee. God, and had the guy who ended up shaving his head and becoming a neo-Nazi, and had
Higher Learning?
Higher Learning. Yeah. It's a bit like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
In that, not just because it's set in college.
When you
but
said
it's-
Spike Lee, I was going to say Love and Basketball.
No, it is it Spike Lee, Higher Learning?
I can't remember.
I don't know. But it's sort of following 3 or 4 different stories.
Yeah.
And how they're different.
Yeah.
Going through the same system.
Yeah.
It was a really enjoyable movie.
Yeah. That's my audibles that I missed out.
So they're the unlucky ones?
Yep.
I've got a ton. I've got a
Keep
ton.
going. Keep going.
Rebound
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Rebound.
with
Fuck yeah. Don
yeah,
Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. And I think it was directed by Eric LaSalle, who
Yeah.
was out of ER.
Yeah.
And
he was in it as well.
I think he played it as well, yeah.
Yeah, he was his mate that went to war.
It could have been.
Yeah, it was definitely.
But I think that Eric LaSalle also wrote and produced one of the Michael Jordan biopics.
Airtime. No.
No,
It's Airtime.
not the not the highlight clip videos. The biopic.
Oh, okay.
Where Michael Jordan was played by the guy who played Julian in The Shield.
Well, I can't remember that.
The tall black cop who's secretly gay. You haven't seen The Shield?
No.
All right. Anyway.
Sounds like a shit movie.
I want to say Michael Jace, but it might not be his name.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've never saw it. I saw it on the shelf and went, you know what? I think I'll live without this one.
But Rebound was a really good movie because it's a true story about Earl Manigault. Who was a sort of a figure around that part of Harlem, where they had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and those players came out of, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar actually said that Earl Manigault was the best player he'd ever seen play. Which
is a funny thing because he says that, and they at the start, and it's actually Kareem Abdul-Jabbar saying it.
Yeah.
Then never in the movie does they actually play against each other.
Yeah, that's what I noticed as well.
He meets once
at Rutgers tournament,
and I think that Kevin Garnett plays Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or he plays Wilt Chamberlain, one or the other.
I can't remember. I don't know.
But it's a great movie.
Yeah. And based on a true story, and I mean, this true story, it sounds a lot similar to Basketball Diaries.
Yeah.
But I liked Rebound better than Basketball
Diaries. Rebound's a great movie.
Yeah. Plus, the way it was shot was kind of trying to make it in that time period as well.
There's a part where he's going off to, is it St. John's College or wherever?
Something like that, yeah.
Wherever he ends up going to college, and he's in the bus, and the music in the background is that moving on.
Yeah.
Anytime I'm thinking about, all right, when I've been made redundant at some other job, that song comes into my head. It's happened a few times. Major League. It's a good movie.
It was.
It's a bit of a corny premise.
Yeah.
But, the first one only.
Yeah.
It's still that it made you want to follow the Cleveland Indians.
Yeah, because the thing is, I remember watching that movie as a kid and loving it. That was I'd watch it over and over, and your mates, you'd be Wild Thing, or you'd be
of course.
Someone else would be
Charlie
Jake,
Sheen,
But then I watched it again, maybe a few years ago. Didn't really hold up.
It didn't hold up.
No, I watched it. I was like, wow, this is pretty cheesy.
See, I haven't seen it in 10 or 15 years.
But still, in my memory, I love it.
I'm going to say, I've still got the 14-year-old me memory of it, so I think I might have to keep it there.
I did have that one on there. I was wondering whether to put it in or not.
Yeah, Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah, that's right. Wesley Snipes.
So Major League was unlucky.
Renee Russo in there as well, I think.
Yeah, is the
trying
wife.
To play a hot chick.
Swimmer. She tried hard.
Yeah, she tried hard.
Okay, another one unlucky to miss out.
Yep.
White Men Can't Jump.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's an awesome.
That's
movie.
A classic.
Again, it's Snipes again.
Yeah. Plus, Woody Harrelson's fucking awesome, and there's so many one-liners out of that movie. In fact, I think I used one the other day on Twitter. I can hear Jimmy.
You're listening. Yeah. You can't hear him.
I can hear Jimmy.
And how many foods do you know that start with the letter Q?
Yeah. I also love put a cat in the oven. Doesn't make it a biscuit.
I've used that. God knows, just because you stick a cat in the oven doesn't make it a biscuit.
Yeah. I use it all the time, but people don't pick up on it quick enough.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Weirdo. yeah, but it doesn't matter.
So yeah, that's actually a good honorable mention.
One day, somebody's going to recognise it, and it'll make those 10 years of saying that line looking like an idiot worth it.
Yep. And the thing is, I remember that movie was when Foxtel or Ozstar first came to where we lived.
I did it.
Not that long ago. And that was one of the first ones I actually taped on VCR. And just watched over and over again. One of the ones where the VCR tape ended up, getting all fuzzy and fucked up.
And the main love interest was Rosie Perez.
Yeah.
Who now does the voice on Diego. She's the camera.
Fuck.
Click. Take a pic.
Oh, because her voice was annoying as fuck in that movie.
It's certainly distinctive.
Yeah.
Let's say that.
And just you can see how annoying it would to have her mad at you.
Yeah.
Like that voice would just make you want to jump off the balcony.
Okay, so my other... Actually, I've got a ton.
Yeah. Karate Kid.
No, so... yes, the Karate Kid, the first one.
Yeah.
And which one? Was 2 okay or 3 was okay?
I can't remember.
I think 2 was okay.
Because I had that, in my honourable mentions towards the worst ones.
Yes. See, the new Karate Kid made it into the worst ones.
Yeah.
I've never watched it, so I felt like that's a bit cheating.
Yeah.
I had the program as well.
Yeah.
Now, 3 movies that I've sort of lumped in together.
Yep.
The Longest Yard.
Yep.
The remake of The Longest Yard.
Yep.
And Mean Machine.
Yep.
So everyone, I think, knows The Longest Yard and the remake. I didn't think the remake was as bad because it's an Adam Sandler movie, so they can get a bit cheesy these days.
Yeah.
But some of the cheesiness it made sense and it was funny, like Kevin Nash on estrogen pills.
Yeah.
And, actually, Stone Cold Steve Austin does an awesome job as the redneck guard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
He loves his wrestlers.
Yeah. But
and Tracy Morgan and Chris Rock.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mean Machine, not some people might be a little bit less aware of.
Yeah.
It's the same movie,
except
it's soccer and it's set in the UK.
Yeah.
And Vinnie Jones
Yeah.
is the main guy.
And I really liked Mean Machine. I
It was
thought
a good
really
movie.
good adaptation.
Yeah, and the finish is great.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard with these, come from behind wins that you know they're going to win anyway.
Yeah.
But when Vinny just taps it out for the lovable loser to knock it in.
And he's the guy out of Human Traffic.
Yep.
He's
I wouldn't have a clue what his
I
name
can't
is.
remember what his name is.
But the joy in his eyes, you can see he's an awesome actor to portray that.
And I think if you ever grew up playing team sports, you've had a moment like that at somewhere on the line.
We're both thinking of a name right now. The exact same person.
Yep.
And my last one that was unlucky, I've put A League of Their Own. Because it's a good story.
Yeah, that's right. That was actually, I liked that movie when I was growing up. That was a good story.
Tom Hanks.
Yep.
He doesn't do very many bad movies at all.
Yep.
It's a great, just a story.
Almost shed a tear at Madonna singing "Used to Be
Used
My
to be my
Playground."
playground. I think that ended up in a lot of soundtracks.
And I mean, there's no crying in baseball. That's like one of the
There's
timeless.
no crying in baseball.
That's one of the timeless snippets.
Little quotes. So I think
That had a pretty big cast as well, though, didn't it? Had Roseanne Barr in it.
No, Rosie O'Donnell.
Rosie O'Donnell, sorry. Had Madonna, Gina Davis,
Tom
Hanks.
Yeah. And who played the daughter, Kit? Because
that's right.
Now I think this is where I always get confused because I thought she looked like the girl from Tank Girl.
Okay.
But she's not from the movie Tank Girl, but there was a TV series and she's from that or something like she has something to do with Tank Girl.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, I never watched Tank Girl, so I'm going to help me on that one.
Yeah, well, you like we said, you work in video stores, you tend to get an eclectic.
Yeah. The funny thing was, we'd already watched every movie at some point when you work at a video store, and so we'd play a game where you try and pick out the worst movie possible and make someone else have to watch it.
Yeah,
so you swap, so you get the worst shit.
Video store stories. I think we could fill a podcast about that.
Probably.
But
speaking of shit ones,
just one more. To keep ourselves entertained, what we were doing once, we were pissed off at our boss for who knows whatever reason because he was our boss, and we were we said
you weren't even supposed to be here today.
Yeah, it was actually one of those. Literally, we decided we should slap him. We'll slap everyone. So then we thought we should just replace a word in the title of a movie with slap.
Right.
So it was like if we take ones today. A night slap, varsity slap.
Yeah, the slap.
Then we were going through the
karate slap,
the movies that were coming soon, and there was a movie called Slap Her, She's French, and we just fell on the floor. We thought it was the funniest thing. Like, what do you do? All right, so on to crap. So we've tried to put the 5 worst movies. Sports movies of all time. Yeah. Now, have we done a combined list on this one?
I think so. I think it's going to be like a rotating list. I think there's going to be lots of entries.
Right. And the first 4 are pretty much even. Yeah. And then there's one that just stands out. That's the worst of all time. So the first 4, I've got Teen Wolf 2.
Yep.
Teen Wolf was a good movie. Not good enough to be an honourable mention.
Yeah.
And then Teen Wolf 2, they go, well, we can't get Michael J. Fox. He doesn't want to come back.
Yep.
So we'll replace him. And we'll just do the same movie and change the sport. So they went from basketball to boxing. And Jason Bateman was actually the replacement for Michael J. Fox.
Oh, shit.
And then it was just the exact same movie.
Yeah.
Just no different.
And didn't pull it off.
Well, I think they made it for $2 and got $3 back, so they were happy.
Yeah. And, I mean, I just mentioned it before, but a really crap movie was Love and Basketball. It was a Spike Lee one.
You mentioned it, I've never seen it. So.
Yeah, it was about 2 kids that grow up together, and one's a girl, one's a guy. I think it's got Omar Epps in it, and Sanaa Lathan, or Lathan or whatever. But yeah, it goes over them through preschool, high school, college, then afterwards in the pros.
Speaking of Omar Epps, he features in the next worst one.
Right.
Major League 3.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I believe he replaced Wesley Snipes in either 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
So Major League was when they won the pennant, which is winning their division.
Yep.
And then they got smacked in the World Series. So
Yeah.
then they made enough money. They thought, we'll make Major League 2, which is we'll get to the World Series in this one.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yep.
And then 3 was back to the minors,
Yeah,
which
that's right.
made no sense
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, they already had the Sandlot kids, so
Yeah.
you don't need that
just-
shit.
It was absolutely, it was really flogging a dead
Yeah.
horse.
And one that I just thought of was a movie about rollerblading called Airborne or something like that. I think it was. Might have come out. Can't remember, but yeah, there was like a street racing on rollerblades, but it was really shit.
Came out in the 2 months where rollerblades were
Yeah,
popular.
yeah, I think so. In
Um,
fact, it probably came out after one of the movies on our list.
Yes, the next one.
Yep,
Yes, you can say it.
Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks.
Now we're talking about the movie Mighty Ducks, not Champions.
No, because Champions was the first one, and that was okay.
That was alright.
Nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
that's not. I'm making a worse movie list.
Then they decided that I think Disney actually bought or owns the Anaheim.
Yeah,
No, the Anaheim Ducks, the
Ducks,
Mighty
yeah.
Ducks of Anaheim.
Yeah,
So this movie was a tie-in to the launch of that.
yeah, that's right.
So the premise is there's the Junior Olympics is going on with teams from all over the world. So let's send this minor league hockey team; they can represent us.
Yeah,
And we'll throw in a couple of extras because we need some more characters.
yeah,
It's a shit movie.
yeah. It was terrible.
That made no sense, and
Yeah,
yeah.
they're pretty much just trying to flog off some more money from Champions.
And
get a bit of
I
follow-up.
think it was just to launch the NHL.
And I
the
mean,
Ducks.
to be honest, from that perspective, maybe it was a success, but the
Yeah.
movie sucked.
Yeah, the movie was shit.
But I do remember after that seeing all the hats come out with the
with ducks.
ducks on it.
All of a sudden, they became the most popular NHL
Yeah.
team in Australia
Yeah,
because nobody could name another one.
yeah,
All right, now the next two disappointing for a number of reasons.
yep.
The second one because it is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but Here Comes the Boom
Oh, yep, yep.
because it was just such a poor movie.
It
that
was.
should have been better.
Yeah, but the thing is, I love Buzz Rutten.
You bass.
Yeah,
but
so-
it was written terrible, and
Yeah, it was.
it's very hard to. The only two good things about the movie are Selma Hayek,
Yeah, yep.
but it's hard to buy that she's interested in Kevin James.
Yeah.
But never mind.
Yep.
But then there's a little bit of Dead Poet Society, how he becomes the inspired teacher,
yeah,
and then I've got to save the world by fighting.
yeah. And like some backyard promotion.
And then, so he goes off and becomes a mixed martial artist.
Yeah, while still teaching kids or
While
some
still
shit.
teaching
Yeah.
the kids. But he's trying to get a contract with the UFC, and then who's the trainer who wears the flat cap all the time?
It's Fonzie, isn't it?
Fonzie, yeah.
Yeah.
He comes in and goes, "Hey, you're going to get a deal with the UFC. Great." But your coach said no. Oh.
Yeah,
Then he
yeah.
goes to talk to Buzz and goes,
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Yay.
yeah, yeah.
It reminded me of that College Humor video of every episode of Entourage ever.
Yeah,
Vince
yeah.
is out of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, Vince is back in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a horrible movie.
Yeah, it is, and even like the MMA side of it is really bad.
Yeah.
If you got Buzz there, that's the one thing you'd be able to get right.
Just show him.
Yeah.
Just let him talk.
Yep, just let him say, "This is how the scene's going to go," and that's how it goes.
Then there's a food fight for no reason and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
and then there's like a fight in the wet outside or some
and
shit.
the fact that he wins against the heavyweight who's
Yeah.
Christopherson, but I can't remember what name they gave him. Okay.
Chael Sonnen was in it as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think Chael Sonnen, that's right. He goes, I didn't tap.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
right.
the funniest bit out
Yeah,
of the whole
yeah.
movie. But what I didn't like was even though the storyline's stupid, how he holds onto the armbar and then wins.
Yeah,
All they had to do was have him lose, because that's realistic,
Yeah.
and then win a fight of the night bonus.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
Which would have been 50 grand, and he goes home and he
Yeah, that
everybody's
solves all
happy.
the problems you've wrote yourself into by making the script this way.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure they've just sort of writing the script as they go and going, fuck, all right, looking back on it, how are we going to wind this up?
Yeah. Oh shit, we've hit
Yeah.
90 minutes.
Yeah.
What can we do?
Yep.
It's also almost ripping off that episode of The Simpsons where Homer becomes a boxer.
Yep.
It's very similar to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's
But-
a good point, actually. I didn't think about that.
But we've listed the worst sports movie of all time as Lucky You.
Yep.
And that's the only reason that Rounders got into the best movies, because we counted poker as a sport. And if you
Yeah.
count poker as a sport to have Rounders in,
Yeah.
then the worst movie of all time is Lucky You.
Yep, that was absolute shocker.
It's taking everything from Rounders and putting it...
Like, It's like digesting it and it's coming out as shit.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
Well, the sad thing is there's so many good elements about prop bets that are in there that are actually interesting, that would make a better movie on its own.
Yep.
And then this whole the money in your left pocket and wrapping the table is the biggest thing. And
the thing is, like, most of it's bullshit.
Yeah, they were inventing intricacies of the poker landscape for the sake of the movie.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they were hoping to try and make that follow on into the real poker world or something, but it just made them lose credibility. I thought.
Whereas Rounders took everything that happens and just showed it.
And I mean, because I think with Rounders, they actually had Johnny Chan on as a consultant for poker. And he goes, for my consultant, I want to be in it.
Yeah.
And so
that's right. No, he said he didn't want to be in it, but his daughter said, you have to. I want to meet Matt Damon.
Yeah, that's right. That's what it was, yeah. So he was actually a consultant for their poker scene. So, I mean, you couldn't get a much better consultant.
Yeah, well,
Johnny fucking Chan.
Johnny fucking Chan.
And also, like, I don't understand why Eric Bana has to do an American accent in a movie. Why can't he be Australian?
Just, what's the difference? Well, I mean, because he's got his dad.
Fuck him.
In the movie, which is a horrible that whole relationship and playing for pennies. Oh God, it's awful.
Yeah, that was terrible.
But it had the Vegas golf bet in there.
Which one was that?
You play 4 rounds in a day and get it. You got to hit 100 for each one.
All right.
But the last one, the putt goes in late.
Oh yeah.
Now a bunch. It's a very famous prop bet.
Yep.
You've got to play. I think 3 or 4 rounds of golf in the Vegas sun without a golf cart, and each round has to be under 100.
Right.
And what annoyed me was it's a great story, and I reckon you could do a documentary on that bet alone.
Yep.
They've used it in this toilet of a movie.
Yeah.
So nobody else can use it.
Yep.
But it's just such a horrible, horrible movie.
But I'm guessing the other one you could do is you could just make a movie all about Amarillo Slim's prop bets.
I'm sure there is an Amarillo an Amarillo Slim biopic.
It'd have to be.
But prop betting, again, there's another doco.
For people out there who's not aware, like, they just make silly bets that obviously they seem like legitimate bets, but there's always a little trick to them.
You've always got to think of the angle.
The famous one with Amarillo was when he said he would challenge anyone to a running race over, what was the distance? Like 500 meters or something.
Right.
And so they'd be like, oh, yeah, sweet. I'll challenge anyone and bet whatever you want. I'll win. And so they go, all right. And what he'd do is he'd grab the tail of a horse and then whack it on the ass, and he'd just take big strides.
Right, so and hold on to the horse.
Hold on to the tail of the horse, take huge strides, and he'd beat anyone. And so they're like, hang on a second.
Yeah.
That's the sort of shit they do back in the 70s to make $1.
Oh, even earlier.
And the thing is, with that, I mean, it's not legit, but if you were to lose there, you look at it and you go, yeah, fair enough, you buzz. Yeah.
You beat me, you cheated me fair and square.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the point of it, is finding those angles.
Yeah.
And there was a show called The Real Hustle, which used to document those. They call them pub bets.
Yeah.
It's just sort of the same thing.
Yeah. Because remember they did the one with the pool ball, where you put on the edge of the bumper.
Right.
And you've got to put one finger on top of it and press down and try and get it like the furthest.
Right.
And everyone always puts one finger on it and just goes, maybe a foot or something like that. But then obviously the guy from The Real Hustle, what he does is licks his finger and then presses it down.
And slicks.
And it goes all the way. Yeah.
Yeah. See, my favourite is you get a pint glass and you say, is it taller or the circumference of the lip?
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, and then you can stack it and say, right, which one's taller now, until they say, but it's always the circumference is...
Yeah, and that one is a really good trick because...
I've shown people...
Yeah, I don't know how anyone gets that right without knowing what that trick is.
Without knowing the trick,
yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So it's a shame that they burned so many of those ideas on Lucky You.
Yeah.
It's a horrible movie.
Well, my hope... Oh, shit, maybe we shouldn't have mentioned it. It could have just been forgotten. Just cast to the...
No, fuck it. He needs to own up to it.
Yeah,
so I like Eric Bana.
Yeah, me too.
He has a good movie, bad movie.
He does.
Way he does it. The Hulk was shit.
Yeah.
Troy, okay.
Yeah, Troy's pretty good.
Chopper, brilliant.
Yeah, he was in Black Hawk Down.
Down.
His American accent sucked, but he was good in it.
You give him a pass.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he'll never top Chopper.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think there's another poker movie that's come out just recently with Marky Wahlberg.
Yeah.
But sort of loosely based
Ben Affleck as well.
Yeah.
Maybe. So I know he's into poker. I know he's any good at it, but...
He was massively into it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they've ever really... No one's really captured that Rounders.
Yeah. And I mean, it's going to be hard to, unless you have to wait for the poker world to change a bit. I think more you'll get the biopics.
Yeah. It's interesting that no Australian really
No.
good sports movies are there. I mean, there's The Club
Yeah,
back
but
in the 70s with
that's
Jack
pretty
Thompson.
shit.
I didn't actually like it that much
No, I
either.
thought it was crap.
Um,
Beginning of those old people going, "That's a fucking classic. That's
Yeah,
a classic Australian movie."
yeah, of course
Yeah,
it
it
is.
might be, but it's still shit.
I think it's because 4 movies came out
Yeah.
in that time frame, and
Yeah.
3 of them were female just discovering themselves
Yeah.
in a male's environment, and then this one.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, mainly because the book had such a high rap.
I guess so.
I guess because we got forced to read it in high school or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was alright, but I didn't really find it interesting.
yeah. There we go. Sport.
Yeah.
Sorry. The one more thing I wanted to mention. There's a movie that we didn't mention because I haven't actually seen it, and that's Raging Bull. 'Cause it's meant to be awesome with
that's
De Niro.
right. Yeah,
But I've never actually seen it.
yeah, me
It's
too.
one of those old ones.
That's one of those ones that I've always downloaded. Going, I'm going to watch this,
I'm going to see it one day.
and then I've gone, hang on, I'll put it on a hard drive because I'm running out of room.
Yeah.
and then I've just forgotten about it.
Yeah. All right. So they're our best and worst
Yeah.
sports movies of all time.
If you agree or disagree, then leave a comment or
Yeah. Hit us up on Twitter
Yeah.
or Facebook or wherever.
wherever you're getting this from now.
All right. I think that might do us.
Yep, that'll do.
All right. Cheers, guys.
All right, bye.